So you're importing from China to Iran. Finding the right supplier, that's just the start of the journey. The real puzzle? Figuring out how to get your products from that factory floor all the way to your front door. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down that entire shipping process into a simple, practical guide.
You've done it. You've placed the order, you're pumped about the product, and then it hits you. All the logistics questions. Which shipping method is actually the best one? How long is this going to take? And what in the world do I do about customs? It's a classic problem every importer faces, and today we are going to solve it.
All right, to tackle that post-order headache, we're going to look at your three main shipping choices. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly which one is the right fit for your business.
So here they are, your three main options. You've got air freight, which is all about speed. Then there's sea freight, your go-to for big volumes. And finally, door-to-door DDP, which is kind of the set it and forget it option. Let's kick things off with the fastest one, air.
First up, let's talk about air freight. This is your number one solution when time is absolutely the most critical factor. When getting your products to market as fast as humanly possible is the only thing that matters.
But look, air freight isn't for everything. You have to be strategic about it. It's perfect for those high-valued goods, like electronics, or maybe urgent replacement parts. Or hey, that very first batch of a new product you need to launch before your competitors even know what's happening. It's really about using speed as a weapon for your business.
Your cargo's journey is probably going to start at one of these major hubs in China. We're talking about the manufacturing powerhouses of Shenzhen and Guangzhou, or the massive commercial center of Yiwu. These are the key airports that are all set up to handle international cargo heading straight for Iran. And then on the other side of the world, this is where your stuff is going to land. Now, while there are a few options, you should know that the vast majority of air cargo from China arrives right here at Imam Khomeini Airport in Tehran. Think of it as the primary gateway, the logistical heart for pretty much all imports into the country.
So, how fast are we really talking? Well, if you can get a direct flight, your goods can be in Iran in less than a week. Seriously, even if there's a layover, you're still looking at a transit time measured in days, not weeks. That is the incredible advantage of air freight.
But what if speed isn't your main priority, but saving money is? Well, that's where sea freight sails in. This option is all about scale and efficiency. If you've got heavy, bulky, or just a large volume of goods, shipping by sea is almost always going to be your most economical choice.
Now, with sea freight, you're going to hear two key acronyms, FCL and LCL. FCL, or full container load, is simple. You're renting the entire container for yourself. LCL, less than container load, means you're sharing container space and the cost with other importers. Your choice really just comes down to how much stuff you're shipping. Your cargo's long sea journey will begin at one of these enormous ports in China. And hey, here's a pro tip for you. Talk to your supplier and figure out which port is closest to their factory. Doing that can seriously cut down your local trucking costs before the container ever even hits the water. When that ship finally arrives in Iran, its destination is almost always Bandar Abbas. It's the country's biggest port, and it's the one that's best equipped to handle those massive container ships coming from China. That makes it the main entry point for pretty much all seabound goods.
With sea freight, timing is everything, so you absolutely have to plan ahead. A normal journey takes about 3 to 4 weeks, but during peak seasons, that can easily stretch to over a month. You've got to factor this into your timeline. It's critical for managing your inventory, especially around big holidays.
So when you put them head to head, the choice between air and sea really is that classic trade-off. What are you optimizing for? Urgency or budget? Is your delivery window measured in days or in weeks? Answering those questions will point you straight to the right solution for your shipment.
But hold on. What if you don't want to deal with the headaches of either method? What if you just want your products to, show up at your door? Well, that brings us to our third option, the done-for-you choice, DDP shipping.
DDP stands for Delivered Duty Paid, and it basically means you hire a logistics partner to handle everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. From picking up the goods at the factory in China to clearing them through customs in Iran and then delivering them right to your warehouse or your storefront. It's the whole shebang.
Okay, now this is the single most important detail for a lot of importers in Iran. Normally, getting through customs is a huge hurdle, but with DDP, the logistics company uses their own import license to clear your goods.
This one tiny detail can remove a massive, massive headache from your plate. It's a game changer.
And this little timeline here just shows you how complete DDP really is. Every single one of these steps, from the pickup and all the export paperwork to the transport and the customs nightmare, it's all managed by your partner. You just place your order, and the DDP provider handles the rest until it shows up at your door. Now, the best part is that DDP isn't really a separate shipping method. It's more like a service level that you apply on top of air or sea freight. So you can choose DDP Air for that perfect mix of speed and convenience, or you can go with DDP Sea for your bigger shipments. It gives you the best of both worlds, a transport method that fits your needs with complete end-to-end management.
Okay, so regardless of which path you choose, air, sea, or the all-inclusive DDP, you've still got to be aware of the paperwork. And that brings us to our final and probably most practical section, your essential document checklist.
This table lays out every single document you're going to need, and, this is the important part, who's responsible for providing it. As the importer, you'll handle things like your commercial ID. Your seller in China takes care of the packing list and invoices, and the shipping company, they handle the bill of lading, which is basically the official contract for the shipment. Just knowing who does what is key to a smooth process.
And I want you to remember this. Customs officials do not care about your deadlines. They care about correct paperwork. A simple little mistake on a packing list or missing certificate can get your shipment stuck in port for weeks, all while racking up crazy expensive storage fees. Getting these documents right isn't just important, it is everything.
So, this all brings us to one final question I want you to think about. Now that you've seen the options, the raw speed of air, the sheer scale of sea, and the beautiful simplicity of DDP, I want you to think about your own business. Right now, is your shipping strategy an asset that's helping you grow, or is it an obstacle that's just creating friction and delays? Choosing wisely here, well, it can make all the difference.